Well. Who do we have here? Let's start with your name. Who are you? What is your name? Okay. Perfect. So, I am an elf. I am Grill, the interrogation elf, and we're gonna discuss how this year has been. So, I will be making questions about how you've been behaving to figure out if you've been naughty or nice. Have you understood this? Perfect. So, let's get into it. So, first off, how are you doing? Perfect. And how is your family doing currently? How are they doing? Okay. Then in how many fights have you been in this year? Don't lie to me. It's not gonna end well. Okay. With whom did you fight? And how many of these fights were initiated by you? Understandable. That happens. Yes. Now, is there someone who you would like to report for naughty behavior? And what did they do? Oh, we actually know about this already. So, oh yes, we agree. It's very naughty. And they definitely should have not done it. Are there other cases that are coming to your mind? Especially something recent from around Christmas time? That's understandable. That is truly understandable. Now, let me just write down here. Perfect. Okay. Well, considering that you've been in quite a few fights this year, you have probably been a bit naughty. And we have truly some reported cases of you being naughty. So there is not much you can defend there. But is there some good deeds? Have you done good things to make up for the naughtiness? Okay, that's brilliant. Yes, anything good. Because no one is perfect, and we are not expecting that of anyone. But we want to see people truly investing time into being a good human. So whether it is donations, taking care of the nature, maybe you were taking part in cleaning a local park, taking care of animals, like adopting a homeless cat or something like that, or volunteering at an animal shelter, all this kind of stuff. And also things like visiting your grandma in hospital, making sure that they are doing good, just being a good person, Of course, we know some or even most of that stuff already, but I would like to hear it from you. Yes. Well, that is brilliant. I myself, yes, we elves also need to do good things, of course. I myself adopted a dog this year from a shelter, and of course did many other good things. But I feel like adopting a dog was one of the best choices, because he is such a truly lovely creature that brings love and happiness to so many people, and we can provide him a stable and safe home where he is left as well. Yes. And because 2020 has been a rough year, there are some special questions. So how have you been doing with social distancing in your area? I know this kind of depends where you're from, like how hard the requirements are, but better safe than sorry. So we're hoping to find people who have even done more than what is required. Yes. Even as elves have been wearing masks most of the time, especially when we're on missions in, countries where the situation is worse. So yeah. Perfect. Okay. So, other things? And, is there something else you would like to mention? Some other way you have made other people's life easier during this situation? Yes, that's brilliant to hear. Perfect. Okay. Now, the easy part of the interrogation is over. Now we will check if you have been honest here. So, don't try to lie to me. Did you fight with family members who you live with or are in close distance from and see really regularly? You did. And why did you fight with them? Telling me it's their fault is not an option, okay? Because even if someone does something horrible to you that hurts you, it's not constructive to scream and fight. I don't expect you to be perfect, but it's not constructive. You can tell what went wrong and if necessary cut contact with them temporarily or permanently, and that is completely allowed. We never want people to be in contact with toxic family members because those are naughty people and they are gonna make you naughty as well. Yes, and what is the most important thing is that you are kind and caring and empathetic person, and that is what we're trying to make you become. Yes. A lot of fights are about money. It's family struggles, I must say, and okay, do you feel some of these fights were because of the situation that you were locked in with these people and really stressed? That's understandable. Okay, we're gonna be more forgiving this year because it's been rough, even to us elves. It's stressful, unbelievably stressful. Yes. Okay. Now, how many fights did you cause by doing naughty things? How many fights were completely your fault and you know you're at the wrong? Did you admit your mistakes in these situations? Because it is okay to be wrong and make mistakes, but you need to admit it. You need to admit that you did something wrong, because otherwise you cannot improve. And were you forgiven by the people who you wronged? Perfect. Okay. How many times did you lie this year? That is indeed a bold claim. Are you considering white lies here? You know, most of us don't think of white lies as actual lies, if you know what I mean. We as elves, we actually approve of white lies because they are sometimes necessary. As long as you're not enabling people's bad behavior, it is fine to sometimes go a bit easy on someone. You know, if they ask, don't you think that my baby is such a pretty little baby? And you're like, that's the ugliest baby I've ever seen. It's fine to say that the baby is pretty. We recommend saying that the baby is pretty because that's a kind and empathetic thing to do in that situation. Or if someone asks if you like their new dress or something like that, depending on situation, you might just want to be like, yeah, it looks great on you, even if it doesn't. You know, and that's also something quite subjective. But yeah. So what about white lies? So yeah. We as humans tend to feel guilty about lies. And but we don't feel as guilty about white lies because it's a lesser harm to tell a small lie than to make people feel terrible about themselves, if you know what I mean. It's important. Yes. And again, how many times did you lie? So, did you remember any not so white lies? Okay. So we have a really hard no lying policy unless it's a white lie that makes other people feel better. But honesty is still a key, especially when talking to an elf. Yes. Now, what about littering? Have you been littering this year? Littering is a serious issue. I want you to be 100% honest here. I see. You let the dog poop on the ground. See, there are different situations. So, there is dog poop that's in a city, which we consider a fairly serious littering crime. There is dog poop that's in a forest, which we don't consider a crime at all, because it's gonna, compost in 2 weeks or so. Then there is littering, something that's not compostable, like cigarettes. Have you done it? Chewing gum. Yes. I feel like especially younger people tend to spit their chewing gums wherever, but I would like to remind you that finding the closest trash bin or always having a small bag with you is not that big of an issue. It's the small things. And have you done other littering? Is there any more serious cases? Like letting oil or gas spill into the ground? Or plastic bags? Okay. I think we are fine this year. It could be better. Let's be honest. You could do better. You could do better on this front. But it's fine. It's fine. Now, I think we actually have most our questions done. And I will come and bother you again if there are some other questions that I have not asked. You know, as an elf I can just spawn wherever I want. So, be careful. I will be watching you. But for now everything seems good, and let me check. I have the tier list here. Your naughty level seems to be quite low. We're about at a naughty level of 3 out of 10. Then there is also the 11 to 15, which are, you know, people who have committed horrible crimes. You know, these people aren't getting any presents or any consideration from our side. But you seem to be at a solid 3, which means you'll be getting a bunch of presents. Even more if you would reach the tier 1. And then there is the magical tier 0, which no one has reached ever, because no one is perfect. But we will see. Maybe you'll be able to do it. It's if you really try hard next year. We will see. Well, I would say thank you for listening to me and answering my questions, but you really don't have any choice if you want them Christmas presents. But yeah, I will see you again. Till later.